Hello, just to film here. I haven't done a video in a while. Basically, Red One broke me, and I was just like, I think I'm done just talking about bad movies and stuff like that. But I want to talk about Sonic 3 today, and I don't think Sonic 3 was a bad movie. My love for the Sonic franchise really is with the Genesis games, which I grew up with, and then Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, which I played the heck out of on my GameCube. There's been some more modern games like Sonic Mania that I absolutely adore, and it's one of my favorite games of all time, but of course that's like in the realm of the Genesis games. So the Sonic franchise means a lot to me, and the Sonic movies haven't really hit with me. Sonic 1 I thought was abysmal. Like, the stuff they added with the whole Long Claw plot and everything I thought was just stupid, and it had very unfunny jokes, had a lot of pandering towards kids. But I think with each entry, it matures a bit. And Sonic 2, the movie, I rewatched it recently. I like that way more than the first movie. I think it's more enjoyable. But I will say I connected less to the Sonic plot in there. I was actually kind of like, oh, wow, yeah, the Sonic plot was not hitting, where they're like in Siberia and everything there. And then Eggman, who's probably my favorite, Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey, is my favorite part of these movies, oddly enough, where a lot of his stuff is just so ridiculous and he hams it up because it's Jim Carrey, that I'm just kind of left giggling throughout all the scenes that he's on. Some do get egregious, but I felt like they kind of wasted him in the second half because he becomes a lot more serious because he's like possessed by an emerald in Sonic 2. And then there's stuff like the wedding subplot, which sounds awful on paper, but I was more engaged with that, and I was finding humor in that more than the Sonic humor. And there's like, his first two movies have like a billion fart jokes. I mean, Sonic 2, there's like 5 fart jokes in the first half, and it's like, this is the quality that we're writing with these jokes here. So many pop culture references and even like product placement. Sonic 3 is easily the best of the 3 movies. I quite enjoyed this, and it tones down a lot of the product placement, it tones down the gross out humor, not to say that there isn't a fart joke, because eventually there is. And I feel like I was more engaged with the Sonic plot. There's a lot less of the humans, and like I said, I kind of liked the wedding subplot of the second movie, even though it doesn't sound good on paper. But I like how they were used in this film, and there was a lot more emotional moments that in some ways were successful, and I was kind of like, okay, you're actually kind of pulling this off. There is a little bit of kiddiness to it that I don't like, where they do a lot of flashbacks as if you forgot scenes earlier in the movie, and characters will just kind of appear at certain places where, like, how did they get there? Okay, the pacing is moving very fast here in ways that I wish would breathe a bit. And this waters down an emotional moment too, where it's just like, okay, chill out for a second and let us take this in. But yeah, I also think there is a little bit too much CGI in here that's noticeably bad. It's fine with the anthropomorphic creatures like Sonic and Tails and Knuckles, but when you have stuff like weapons and things like that becoming CGI, it's like, oh, that does not look good. And I also wish these were directed more interesting visually. They're directed in a way that doesn't really have much of a visual tone. I love seeing cool camera work or something that's purposeful on screen, and you're just kind of getting a standard, this is a Hollywood big budget film and everything, in a way that you could see the action play out. At least, like, the action isn't horribly played out here, where I felt like Sonic 2, the action was kind of like, wait, what's going on here? So it's a little bit better in that department too. I wish these movies would use the game music more. This does have some great needle drops from the game that are relevant, and I'm like, yes, let's do this. But dang, why do you have these pop songs popping up and renditions of classic songs like 99 Love Balloons, the English version, so it's not Boost Balloons. It's like, you could literally play this song here from the games, or play this song. And of course, the only classic Genesis song you get is Green Hill Zone, because we hear that in every Sonic thing ever. There's more zones from the classic Genesis games. Come on. But yeah, I was less annoyed with Sonic in this movie. I didn't really find him annoying, which the first movie, totally annoying. Second movie, he was boringly annoying. And it's like, okay, that works. I will say, Keanu Reeves, not the best actor, not the best voice actor. Like, he had a tone for Shadow that I thought was fine, but the delivery, and it's just always kind of this flat, like, I'm reading a line delivery. And I wish he put a little bit more into that Shadow role. Knuckles, as Idris Elba, has a lot of fun, like, with the voice and everything. Like, I thought Idris is good in both of these movies. And Tails, which I love that they got the voice actress from the games, I feel like in the second movie they had more jokes with Tails that really didn't hit. And this time they don't really make him comedic, which I think works better for the character, the dynamic with Sonic and everything there. I also have a soft spot for Agent Stone and the character there from the first two movies. And I thought he was used great in here. You know, the humans with the one that's played by James Marsden and his wife, they had a great amount of screen time that, again, didn't feel like they were overdone. It's like, oh, where's Sonic or anything? No, they were used in a very solid way. And I don't want to say too much. And you even have that one guy from the Knuckles show and from the other movies that people love. I still gotta see the Knuckles show. He should have had 4 scenes, but we didn't really get too many scenes with him. So yeah, I like the references to the game, of course, but I do think there's so much more emotion and story than those first two movies that I like what they did here in terms of improving that so that it stands alone as a movie. Sometimes things just would not make sense, where it's like, okay, you're showing this type of gadget, no way it would work in even this world would do this, but you don't want to show that because you want these characters to survive and everything. And there was a couple times where I'm like, what? Look, I think I want to go with a 5 out of 10 for this one. I know I want to give it a 6. I really do. But there's just a lot holding it back where I'm not rushing out to rewatch this. And I do think there were easy elements that could have been done a lot better. I don't know. I'm still not going to rate it on Letterboxd. So maybe that will change on Letterboxd. And maybe you'll see a 6. I almost forgot to, but let's talk a little bit of spoilers, okay? So if you haven't seen the movie, click off now. All right, so I thought Tom was going to be dead. I was like, okay. And I felt like they undermined the moment a bit in the motion by, like, cutting to, like, joke parts, like, immediately after, and there's not much time to breathe. But I thought they handled the Maria stuff very well, you know? I do feel like they relied a bit too much on flashbacks, even ones we already saw throughout the movie in there, where it's like, okay, we got the point. But that they actually let breathe and they explored in meaningful ways. So I did enjoy that. But yeah, the post-credit scene, there's 2. The second one's kind of like, whatever, I guess Shadow's alive. But first, it's like Metal Sonic shows up and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that's my boy. And it seems like there was a bunch of Metal Sonic and I was like, are those like a silver or gray? Like I think it's called Robot Sonic from the end of Sonic 2, like that boss. That would be cool. That's probably what was going on there. And then Amy freaking shows up, which I love the design for Amy in this version. And I wonder who's going to voice her because she doesn't say anything. And you know they're probably going to get like a big name actress to voice her. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that was like very hype, okay? And that lived up to the hype. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am fangirling right now. Just like in a Marvel movie with the fanboys or whatever. I'm like, oh, they got me. They got me. So I don't have too much else to say in terms of the spoilers. But is Eggman alive? Is Robotnik alive? I think he'll live for the next one. It seems like Jim Carrey wants that dough. But that's okay. I want more Jim Carrey in these Sonic movies. Okay, I think that's it. If you're going to say spoilers in the comments, put spoilers and then say what you want to say so other people don't get spoiled. But yeah, also let me know in non-spoiler ways what you thought of the movie, where you agree or disagree. Am I being too hard? etc. Subscribe here for more film content. I have a lot of exciting ones planned, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.